This is Shaun Sport in podcast form.
We got the opportunity to catch up with the one, the only, Bruce McAvaney ahead of his involvement in the telecast tomorrow. He was up and about. Let's have a listen.
I'm going well. No, it's pretty excited about tomorrow. Should be a great match, I think.
Yeah, it's grand final eve must still feel like Christmas Eve to you, does it?
It does. It does. And it's going to be good weather and everyone's up and about. So, no, it's a good one, I think. They're always good ones. They're great. It's a great week. The whole thing's beautiful.
Do you have any questions for Shaun?
Well, I don't, but I feel like, there's always a hard luck story in the grand final. Callum Mills misses out. I've got McAvaney. Now we've got Shaun McManus.
Yeah, hard luck because he's in Bali. Yeah, he's really suffering.
Actually, I do think it's a pretty soft performance, don't you?
Mate,
Wow.
apparently he's going for the team Bing Tang, according to what he's wearing.
Yeah.
No, it's okay.
My best when you say.
Yeah, it's all right, Bruce. I'm here to pick up the football slack.
Yeah, that's right. When we need a football brain, we look at Nathan Morris.
So, first question, who's playing in the grand final?
This is a good start.
Hey, do you get to meet Katy Perry?
If I do, I'll be thrilled, but I don't think it's on her schedule, but it's on mine, all right?
I feel like you are so synonymous with football. You are football in Australia. How can she be here for the AFL Grand Final and not meet?
Surely she's asking to meet you, Bruce. Surely.
Well, if it happens, I'll let you know, okay? And I'll be delighted.
Hey, Bruce, we spoke to Eddie Maguire yesterday, and I read out a comment from the paper. I let it to the editor. This bloke had an idea that it would be great when we have the celebrities that are performing at the at the pre-show before the AFL Grand Final to get them to do the centre bounce. Don't you think that would be hilarious?
Like a ceremonial centre bounce, like a ceremonial first pitch at a Major League Baseball game?
Wouldn't that be hilarious?
That would be. Well, they might do a better job than some of the boys that have been doing it. It is the weirdest thing, but I like. Look, God blimey, I reckon the most nerve-wracking thing for an umpire in the whole season would be the first bounce on grand final.
Imagine, I couldn't do one to save my life.
All the eyes are on you, and it's such a big moment.
And
that
not
if you
only
stuff
that,
it up.
And the possibility of the ball slamming straight back into your face is so high, Bruce, so high. Yeah.
What I do want to know, Bruce, is what prompted you to come out of retirement? Because, we got used to the idea of you not being around, and now you're back again. It was like a break in case of emergency.
I love it.
What was the phone call that got you back behind the mic?
It's a good question, and I've asked myself this a few times.
Yeah.
I got the head of sport and so I've had a change in the head of sport and the head of footy. They spoke to me about a week into the finals and said, Macca, would you be interested in doing the opener for the grand final and maybe being involved a bit? And I said, let me have a think. And then they came back before I had a think and said, look, we'd also like you to be involved with the prelim finals. And I just thought the timing was right. I'm feeling good. Haven't done it for a while, obviously. A bit of a changing landscape next year with the footy world in Melbourne with the media. I just thought the timing was right. So I said, yeah. I also thought, look, truthfully, if I say no, they're not going to ask me again, and I still feel like I want to be part of it. So, I was last weekend, and it was very enjoyable, very different because you're not calling, but you still feel a big part of it. So, I'm excited about being involved tomorrow. I really am. So,
and can we thaw out Dennis as well then? Get the old duo back together?
I'd love that. I'd love that. I would. I'm going to make sure I speak to him today, but I would love that.
It's really good that you're still excited to do it. We have a thing here that we a sort of an unofficial rule, and that is if someone wants to book us for something a couple of months in advance to have a check-in with the future Nathan or the future Nat and see if she actually wants to do it. But, you are still up and about. Are you still doing all of your study and stuff beforehand? What do you have to do?
Yeah, pretty much, Nathan. Not quite at the same...
Because you know everything, don't you?
Level. No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
I thought you just know everything.
Well, you don't know everything, but you know more than everybody else.
Yeah, so I don't see what study would be necessary.
Oh, God, I love you too. You're going to write the CV for my next job interview. Look, I go about it pretty similarly. You don't have to quite fill in all the spaces because I'm not calling, you're not doing all the narrative of everything. But, there's a similar thing. And, look, these two teams, they've all got great stories, these guys, and what seasons they've had, and they've sort of come from different ends. Sydney made the running early. They were the best team for most of the year, and now Brisbane have charged in the grand final. So it's going to be a hard one to pick, I think.
Hey, can we just push the grand final aside for a second? I want to speak about something here that's been happening in WA for the last 12 months, and that thing is Harley Reid. Is Harley Reid, in your opinion, what is Harley Reid to football? What is he going to be?
He's certainly one of the most exciting talents we've seen in a long time, because not only is he a great footballer, he's sort of got that swagger off the field as well.
Yeah.
So I think in, as long as things continue to go ahead as we expect they will, and he'll continually get a little better and even stronger, I think he's the next big thing in football. He is the next big thing in football already in Perth, but I think on a national scale, somebody asked me last week, who's the superstar of the game? In recent years we've had, Dusty Martin and Buddy Franklin have probably been the two that jump at you. There's lots of others. But Harley Reid's the one in waiting, I think. So I think he's only a couple of years away from being probably be the most interesting player in the national competition.
Wow.
He's already that in Perth. He can't do anything without being on the back or front page.
Yes, or both.
And I think that's probably 2 or 3 years away from that being national. So I think he's got an incredible future. His first season has been remarkable, and I think we're all very excited to see how it all ends up.
Would you go so far as to say he's special?
You took the words right out of my mouth.
I just wanted to hear you say it, Bruce. Did you just say it?
No, you have to pay for that, Natalie. You have to pay per minute for Bruce to ring you personally and say special.
And Nathan, not only can you write the CV, you could be my next manager.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I mean, it's going to be a big day. We know that, obviously. I guess we better get a prediction for you. Can Brisbane get it done? They were runners-up last year, so they've been in and around there. But Sydney were so dominant early on in the season. What's going to happen?
Nat, I really don't know. And I'm going to sit on the fence. I'm going to get a splinter because I think this is so close to call. Both of them have got compelling arguments. They're great to watch. I just want it to be close, and I think it will be. I don't know about you guys. I like both these teams. I like watching them. I reckon they're really exciting teams to watch. So I feel like there'll be a smile on most people's... Unless you're rusted on Swan or a rusted on Lion, I think for a lot of Australia, they're just going to sit back, watch it, enjoy it, and have a smile at the end of the day. And
football's going to be the winner.
Yeah. That's it, Natalie. Football is going to be the winner.
Brisbane seemed to me to know how to win, like from seemingly impossible... deficits and that sort of thing. They've been finding a way to win the whole way through, and that, I think, might hold them in good stead.
It won't hurt, and those last 2 weeks have been remarkable. But, from the Swans' point of view, they did something similar against GWS.
Yeah,
and then
that's true.
They turned a game around against Collingwood about 6 weeks ago that was so important in the last quarter. So I think both teams, at three-quarter time, if the scores are within 3 or 4 goals, will have a belief, and that's going to be great for the game, I think. Yeah. Because I do think it'll come down to the last 10 minutes.
We're going to have to wind this up because this is costing us $5.95 per minute. So the budget doesn't stretch that far, Bruce.
Bruce, it's an absolute joy to catch up with you. The coverage starts on 7 Plus in HD from 5 a.m. our time tomorrow morning. Bounce out at 12:30, of course. Bruce, it's like speaking to royalty. Thank you for joining us today.
Bruce.
My pleasure. Hey, Nathan, just let me know where to send the invoice.
I got you. I got you.
Thanks, Bruce.
Bye, buddy.
Shaun Sport in podcast form.
It is grand final eve. Time to catch up with our favourite former Fremantle captain, Matthew Pavlich. Good morning.
Hello, Pav.
Good morning. I believe you like it a lot better, the Shaun Sport as well.
Well, I mean...
Nathan's loving this
Pav,
week. He's never had to talk about football so much in all his life.
Pav, I've got nothing left to say. I've said it all. So.
That's impossible. Actually, you know what you have to say? You have to say, hey, Pav, I apologise for not replying to your text message.
Well, I was going to reply just then, but I thought, well, I'll just say right now, I'll text you after the show.
You know what? Nat's a star. She's polite, but you and your rudeness and your I'm not really sure how to describe your text behaviour.
Hey, Pav, I'll text you after the show.
He won't, okay, Pav. He won't.
I will.
He won't.
Oh, Pav just wants a sneaky photo. That's all.
I know. We'll just send it to him. All right. Pav, you excited about the grand final?
I am excited about the grand. It's almost it's impossible not to get excited about a grand final, particularly because there's no Victorian team in the grand final. Hello to all my Melbourne friends.
Yeah.
But no, it's great to, I guess, have two interstate sides. And realistically, these are the two best sides of the year. Yes, they both had lulls, and Brisbane in particular at the start of the year, Sydney towards the back. But these two have been incredible in different stages of the year. So it's awesome that they're both there. And I think both storylines are remarkable if you think about Brisbane's heartbreak last year, 4-point loss to Collingwood, Chris Fagan, Lockie Neal, former teammate of mine, third time around. There's a lot of storylines as there always is. And then Sydney, of course, 2 years ago, absolutely thumped by the Cats. So, yeah, it's going to be a really interesting game.
Pav, I was at the dog park last night, and of course, because I live in East Fremantle, it is Dockers Heartland. And a shout out to Andrea. She's got a dog called Diego. Not important to the story, just wanted you to know.
What sort of dog, Diego?
He's a Portuguese water dog.
Yeah.
Anyway, we were talking about who we're going for the grand final, and she said she has to go for Sydney because she definitely doesn't want Lockie Neal to win, because as a Dockers supporter, she still feels betrayed to this day by the fact that he jumped ship. How does it feel to you?
Well, right now, I mean, he's a former teammate and someone that I have a really close relationship with. So right now, I as a mate, I want him to win. But I wonder if they do win, if there's a bit of jealousy or envy that comes in when the siren goes. I mean, that's only something that I'll find out tomorrow at about 5 o'clock. But no, I mean, I hope he does really well, and I hope for his sake, third time around, and because of the hard work he's been through, and I mean, as I said, I've got a really close relationship with him specifically, so I hope he does incredibly well.
Injury cloud, though, yeah?
Yeah, he's had a heel injury. I think he's just been getting some help from the doctor pre-game, getting his jab, so he'll be really sore. Yeah. But he won't feel a thing for a couple of hours.
Yeah. Hey, how many players these days are like one club for life? You were, Pav, but like how many? How many
Shaun
people?
Was.
I don't know what the percentage will be. I mean, you got to take into context how the average time on an AFL list for most players is about 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
And that's generally at one club. They don't normally shift around, that early if they're going to but they're in and out of the system pretty quickly. I would say for someone who's been in the competition as long as Lockie, which is probably, 15 years now, I'd say, 50-50 stay at the same club and then the other. You think about the guys that are retiring this year. Angus Brayshaw was Melbourne, Dusty Martin, has been Richardson, sounds like he might be going to the Gold Coast. Who else? Like last year, you think about the three guys, all West Coast, Shuey, Hearn and Natanui all stayed there. So I think the people that play for a long time, maybe 50-50, maybe a bit more like a 60-40 split, they stay at their club.
Can you do the stats and get back to us on that? Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I'll
in a pie graph.
I'll run the spreadsheet.
Yeah, great. Just rack it into ChatGPT. That's what everyone seems to be doing at every workplace.
Pav, what about
Siri, here we go.
The heartbreak of, the omission due to injury on the eve of the grand final. We're talking, of course, about Callum Mills, isn't it? It's just awful, really.
Yeah, and Oscar at McAvaney as well.
Of course,
dislocated his shoulder. I mean, having dislocated my shoulder a number of times, the pain, I had this visceral pain immediately in my left shoulder last week. So Oscar McAvaney to do that. So, but Callum Mills is a really hard one because he's the captain. He'd feel torn all week between his own emotion and having to effectively hide that to some degree and hide his personal ambition to get in the side. He sounded like he trained really well, sounded like he's fit, but clearly they've made a decision not to risk him. And you can't take he really hasn't played a lot of footy this year. He's had shoulder issues, hamstring issues, but that would be he's going to need some therapy.
For sure.
Well, I mean, you're not playing the grand final. That's full
and
on,
you're the captain.
But then again, I mean, if you didn't play that much throughout the year, then I feel like for people that have played mostly throughout the year that have helped you get there.
He played in the 2016 losing one. He played in the 2022 losing one. So there'd be demons. And
so if they win, that'll be so funny.
Yeah. I mean,
it'd be hilarious.
Reminiscent, isn't it, when Bob Murphy couldn't play in the Bulldogs Premiership when I mean, and he hadn't played for a lot of the year, but he was like the spiritual leader of the team. And just, you could see he was happy for his teammates, but the personal devastation was written all over his face.
I've spoken to Bob about this a lot. We're misery keeps company.
Yeah.
So the two of us have sort of talked, but like he talks about being, crying mainly because he was upset, not because it was pure emotion. But at the time, everyone was like, "Oh, I'm glad you're so happy for the team." In his own mind, he's like, "Well, bugger that, I'm
not
pissed off myself." But that's, and I think this is where, yes, okay, he didn't play in it, but a medal or recognition. Yes, the clubs do it really well in terms of it's a whole squad mentality and all that, but. Perhaps this is every year it gets talked about, like the brown the medal vote. We shouldn't be the umpires. Yeah. Every year it gets talked about that every player that's had a significant contribution across the year gets a medal.
Hey, Pav, what's your day looking like tomorrow? What's happening? What time are we getting up? What are we doing?
Well, you know what? I'm in Exmouth, so I'm going to be getting up and going to Turquoise Bay and swimming.
Oh God, it's Shaun McManus all over again.
Are you kidding me? Aren't you supposed to be doing something with the grand final?
I just want my tan not to go away.
What is with these WA football people that are in the media that aren't going near the AFL grand final? What is this?
Well, I wasn't invited. No, no, I don't. Well, I think the main was. Fox have got their Melbourne crew and their Sydney and Brisbane guys, so they're like, why do we need someone from Perth over here?
When we've got Jonathan Brown, exactly.
Jonathan Brown, Alistair Lynch, so on and so forth. And I think we'd originally planned to go, we get a couple of tickets, right, as the last member of the AFL. So I was originally planning on taking one of the kids over, and then there was a bit of FOMO from everyone. So, we had this booking. We had this booking at Exmouth, which sort of, it was after this weekend, but we sort of brought it forward knowing that Freo and or West Coast weren't going to be there, and I probably wasn't going to be needed. So I'm going to be swimming in Exmouth and then sitting down and watching it with
straight down to Whalebone.
Hey, so your 2 tickets that you get, then what happens to them? Do you give them? Are you allowed to give them away? Are you allowed to sell them on eBay? What's the deal?
No, you certainly cannot sell them on eBay.
That's a shame, isn't it?
I think there's I'm not sure if it's jail, but it's a significant penalty by the Victorian government if you get caught. So my sister is heading over there with her hubby. So
how good's that? Oh, you're a good brother.
It pays to be your sister, that's for sure. Pav, enjoy Exmouth. Have a great time.
Thanks, guys.
I'll message you after the show.
Yeah, he won't. He won't.
I'll just go to the toilet to get the picture ready.
Shaun Sport is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.